Imagine an America where the values of its citizens are reflected truly in its governance, where the diversity of opinions and lifestyles is respected, not suppressed. That is the America our founding fathers envisioned. Yet, here we are today, trapped in a cycle where the federal government has grown so powerful, it dictates the minutiae of our daily lives, from what we can drive to how we are allowed to live. I'm talking about the idea of a national divorce, a concept that seems radical, yet might just be the remedy we need. It's not a call for conflict, but a call for peace, for a return to the core values that this country was built upon. The founders of this great nation never intended for a centralized power to dominate the cultural and personal lives of its citizens. They believed in a limited government, a government that allows local values and customs to govern, not a distant elite with no understanding of local realities. Think about it. Why should someone in a high-rise in New York dictate how a farmer in Iowa should manage his land? Or why should the lifestyle preferences in California create constraints on the traditional energy industries in West Virginia? It's clear that the one-size-fits-all approach of the federal government is not fitting anyone well. A national divorce might sound extreme, but it's a concept rooted in the recognition of our differences and the respect for individual liberty. If states could govern more autonomously, each region could develop in a way that's true to the local population's values and needs. This doesn't mean isolating ourselves from one another, but rather respecting each other's choices. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the moral disputes that ignite fury across the nation. Issues like abortion have created rifts so deep that compromise seems impossible. In a system where states have more autonomy, each state could uphold its own moral standards, reflecting the beliefs of its residents, rather than having a monolithic policy imposed by a few in a distant capital. Isn't this what democracy is truly about? Governing according to the will of the people, not according to the will of the few? A national divorce could lead us back to a truly representative government, where local voices aren't drowned out by national uproars, where the principles of our Constitution are not just upheld, but lived by. As a constitutional originalist, I see a national divorce not as a failure, but as a necessary step towards fulfilling the promise of America, a promise of freedom, of diverse thought, and of self-governance. Let's embrace these ideas with open minds and hearts. Perhaps this is the path that can lead us back to peace, respect, and true political liberty. As we delve deeper into the notion of a national divorce, let's address a fundamental issue that has long been a point of contention: taxation. The phrase "taxation is theft" might sound provocative, but it captures a sentiment that many Americans feel. Taxes are meant to support the common good, to fund essential services that benefit all citizens. However, the misuse of tax dollars by corrupt politicians has led to widespread disillusionment. Consider this. Every dollar you earn represents your hard work, your time, and your effort. When a significant portion of that is siphoned off by the federal government, only to be squandered on projects that do not benefit you or your community, it feels like a betrayal. In a more autonomous system where states govern themselves with minimal federal intervention, tax dollars could be used more efficiently and transparently. Local governments are closer to the people they serve, making it easier to hold them accountable. Imagine a scenario where your taxes are directly reinvested into your local community, into schools, roads, and public services that you actually use and benefit from. The misuse of tax dollars is not just a financial issue, it's a moral one. When funds are diverted to serve special interests or to line the pockets of corrupt officials, it undermines the very principles of democracy and fairness. A national divorce could pave the way for a more equitable system where taxation is fair, transparent, and truly serves the people. This isn't just about reducing the tax burden, it's about restoring trust in governance. It's about ensuring that every dollar you contribute is used wisely and effectively to improve your life and the lives of your neighbors. By embracing a model where states have more control over their finances, we can create a system that is more responsive to the needs of its citizens, a system where corruption is minimized and accountability is maximized. This is not just a financial reform, it's a step towards a more just and fair society. As we continue to explore these ideas, remember that the goal is not division, but a more harmonious and efficient governance structure, one that respects individual liberty and local values while ensuring that our hard-earned money is used for the greater good. As we continue to explore the implications of federal overreach, let's turn our attention to one of the most pressing issues facing our nation today, the border crisis. The federal government's refusal to secure our borders has led to a surge in illegal immigration, affecting the fabric of communities across the country. The unchecked flow of illegal immigrants has not only strained public resources, but has also displaced citizens, particularly in low-income and minority areas. Imagine living in a community where the influx of undocumented individuals overwhelms local schools, hospitals, and social services. These are the very institutions that are supposed to support and uplift our most vulnerable populations. The consequences are far-reaching. Overcrowded classrooms mean that children do not receive the attention and education they deserve. Overburdened healthcare facilities struggle to provide adequate care, leading to longer wait times and reduced quality of service. Public housing and social programs, already stretched thin, become even less accessible to those who need them most. The impact on local employment is also significant. In areas where job opportunities are already scarce, the sudden increase in the labor force can drive down wages and make it even harder for citizens to find work. This is particularly devastating for low-income families who are already struggling to make ends meet. It's not just a matter of economics, it's a matter of justice and fairness. When federal policies fail to protect our borders, it is the most vulnerable among us who bear the brunt of the consequences. The promise of the American dream becomes increasingly out of reach for those who need it most. In a system where states have more control over their borders and immigration policies, local governments could tailor solutions that best fit their unique circumstances. They could allocate resources more effectively and ensure that the needs of their citizens are prioritized. This is not about turning our backs on those seeking a better life. It's about creating a system that works for everyone. A system where communities are not overwhelmed, and where every individual, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to thrive. The border crisis is a stark reminder of the hidden costs of federal overreach. It underscores the need for a governance model that is more responsive, more accountable, and more attuned to the needs of its citizens. As we continue this journey towards understanding and advocating for a more balanced and just system of governance, remember that our goal is to create a society where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. If this resonates with you, please like and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on these critical issues. Thank you for watching.